Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes. Today we're doing an album that, I wanted to pick, there wasn't a lot of stuff that came out recently that I thought that you would enjoy. And this month there's going to be some stuff.
Yes.
I went back a couple weeks on my blog and picked something that I know, because you're a teacher, I know your students would probably be into this artist. He's more popular with younger people.
Okay.
And that's Ericdo'a. The album is called DOA. And before we get into it, normally I would ask if you knew anything about this person, but I would assume you didn't, because I really didn't know much about them. The way I found them is through this meme that went viral. Where they're doing a freestyle on live on TikTok, and they said some funny stuff. You might have seen it because you're on TikTok,
right?
Or at least heard the audio. And I looked at, because I thought the guy had a good voice, so I'm okay, I'll see what he does. And it turns out that he's been, even though he's 21, he's been making music and been decently popular in underground emo pop music for a while.
Yeah, I think his first album came out in 2018.
Which means he would have been, 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, and they say he's a producer, too, so he produces his own albums.
Yeah, I think that he produced all of this stuff.
Did you know that he actually has gone by different names?
Yeah, I was going to say his first name was something else. It was Dante.
Yep.
Dante Red, I think it was.
Yep.
And I also saw he was associated with a few other popular artists in this realm that I've heard of and I've paid attention to, so I kind of knew going into this what it would sound like.
Okay.
That's why I thought that you're younger people, people that you teach would like this. So it's cool for you to try to relate to what they're probably listening to,
You're right.
Similar to Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, they all love her.
Yeah, I would assume. Where it's that album is really good, but when I listen to it, I know that it's not made for me as a male in my late 20s.
Yeah, we talked about that.
You.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is how I felt about this one when I listened to it. I'm this obviously is not made for me lyrically or even sonically.
Yes.
But I can appreciate what he's trying to do, especially because it sounds very inspired by some of this stuff.
Yes.
That was popular when I was growing up, just way more modern. So as I mentioned, the album is called DOA. And always, we're going to talk about some of our favorite songs, and then at the end talk about our overall opinion of the album. The first song that we picked is one of my picks. It's called Dancing with Somebody, or Somebody. Yeah. And I would say this is literally the most basic song on the whole album.
Yeah.
Out of everything on here, for me to pick this one is kind of funny because you would think I would pick the more experimental, weirder stuff.
Yeah, this is just.
But this is just
normal.
a straight up normal pop song.
It is.
It reminds me a lot of the song Mona Lisa by Dominic Fike that came out last year.
Yep.
Or what's that song called? The guy's name is Nicky Ure or something. I know you would have heard it because it's really popular.
Okay.
It came out a couple of years ago. It's something that's on, you would just hear it when you go to Target.
Okay.
That's
Target.
That's what this sounds like.
Target songs.
It's music you hear when you go to the mall or something, or Target. But there's a reason why this is one of the most popular songs on the album. It's just very enjoyable. It's light, it's sweet. It's catchy. The melody's super warm, and the beat is just super fun. I like his vocals a lot on this one too. I like his vocals throughout the record.
Yeah,
actually.
he has good. I was actually watching him do a live performance of one of the songs I like, and he's got really good vocals.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the beginning. That's why I initially checked him out, even though like it was like a meme that I found him from. It was like, this guy like can sing.
He can
and
sing.
Whether or not you are into like these kinds of instrumentals, like you can definitely appreciate that he has a very good voice.
He does.
And he mixes his voice very well.
Yes.
Like he does a good job at like producing his own
music
and like making it sound like in a certain way.
Right.
As far as like the song lyrically, it's basically like him talking to like a girl that he used to be with, like telling her to like find someone else for the night because he's like not emotionally there.
Ooh, The Weekend.
Like that's what it feels like a lot of this album kind of is, where it's like he's kind of like pushing someone away.
Yeah.
And it's like interesting that this song has such like a bright and like happy sound.
Yeah, right.
Considering like the lyrics are like kind of like sad.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, like when Weekend sings "Scared to Love Again" or whatever, Scared to Live Again.
Yeah.
It's like that's sad. That's so melancholy. And this is melancholy, but in an upper beat.
Yeah, like you don't like necessarily think about what he's saying when you just listen to it.
Right.
You're like, this is it, and it does fit into like the theme of the album, like I said. The second song that we picked is another one of my picks. It's Pay Stub. This is my favorite song on the album. It's probably like one of like it's one that I listen to like frequently, like after I listen to this album like quite a bit. So I would say it's like one of my more favorite songs of the year so far. Okay. At least until this week.
Yeah.
A ton of really good music came out in the last like week or so. But anyway.
A lot of song drops this week.
Yeah, a couple good albums too. But anyway, so Pay Stub is one of the most like hip hop sounding songs on the album.
Yes.
It's like, I would say it's like glitch trap. Like the melody is super, super, super saturated. And it's like it's not even modern. It's like futuristic sounding, like almost like robotic in a way.
Right.
And this is a song, so like I've been trying to like teach you how to like, so like you have to like listen to some of this music a certain way. This is a song I feel like you probably wouldn't like if you didn't listen to it with like heavy bass or something like that, or like the song like mixed in a certain way. If you listen to this just like on your phone or with headphones that don't have the bass turned up, it probably sounds muffled.
That's what,
or like fuzzy.
Right, we talked about that I really felt that the songs were fuzzy, but then I went and changed my equalizer so I could hear him more. Yeah. And then I appreciated it for the lyrics as opposed to the sound.
Like I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you have to listen to this stuff a certain way, and you have to appreciate that it is like very intense. And this is definitely like an intense song. Okay. It's super, even though it's like the sound is like bright and like almost like sunny, it's almost abrasive because of how like how like
it's coming across.
Yeah, how pushy it is.
Yeah.
And his vocals are mixed like crazily on this one.
Very much.
It's like he's almost like squeaking. It reminds me a little bit of like, I remember like artists in the early 2010s, like Lil Wayne, and like these artists were kind of doing that thing. Yeah. And it's like pretty weird, but I think it's cool. Like it's different. Not a lot of people are doing this kind of thing well, and it's hard to do well. Right. And even if it's like not for you, you can appreciate like this. Like sounds like it's done very well. Okay. For sure.
For that type of music.
For that kind of music. Like you can listen to other artists who are like doing this kind of stuff, and it literally sounds fuzzy because it's not like mixed as well. Okay. This, at least, if you like you said, when you change the equalizer and you can hear his voice more, like, and this is throughout the album, you can tell that it's like mixed super well because you can still appreciate that stuff.
You can still hear it.
But yeah, as far as like what Pay Stub is about, he's like basically like talking to someone about telling someone that they only want him for his money. Okay. Ooh, and he realizes that. He's like, and I don't know, like it seems like it could be friends or like a partner. Yeah. it's like people in his life are just taking advantage of him because he's had the success that he's had, and he feels like pretty isolated because of that.
Yep.
And
that comes out in one of my songs too.
Yeah. And once again, this song is a very energetic sound, but like the lyrics are like pretty like sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I love like contrast and sound with the lyrics because it shows like layers to like what the artist is doing.
Yes, that they can take something sad but put energy behind it, and maybe they put that energy behind it because they really want the song to be understood more.
Well, I think it's also so you can like attract like listeners.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Who like aren't paying attention to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like you can get like more like a wide range that way, but it's not easy to do that.
No, not at all.
Like back in the day when people would make sad songs, it would sound sad.
They all sound sad. Yep.
Like what's that one, the Bad Day song? It was like when I was popular, or popular when I was growing up. It was like that piano song. I think it's called Bad Day.
Yeah.
Like that sounds extremely sad.
Yeah.
And it is a sad song.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think of like when I hear songs like this, I think of like Night in White Satin or something like that, which is really old. But again, it's a sad song. The instrumental is sad, and you're just kind of like listening to it. Like you like the song, the beat, but you're like, this is really just. This is really I don't know the word you want to say other than sad. You feel just bad.
Yeah, for this, like the lyrics are kind of depressing, but the sound is depressing. Not at all.
Yeah, depressing. That's the word.
But anyway, so we'll move into the third song, which is another one of my picks. It's called "Arm and a Leg," and
I love that title.
I thought that you would want this. Pick this one.
Yeah.
Because it's like more of like a punk rock song. It's probably like one of the least like saturated and produced songs on the album.
I agree.
Like everything else is a lot more I say like intense or like abrasive, harsh.
Right.
And this one isn't as much.
Right. It's clearer is the way I would say it. It's clearer.
Yeah, definitely. It's more retro too.
Yes.
It literally sounds like it could be made by Blink-182, and his vocals match that too.
Yep, I'm a Blink fan.
And I grew up. I mean, when I was growing up, that kind of music was very popular. Right. I wouldn't say that was necessarily like my favorite kind of.
No, it wasn't. No, stuff. Knowing what you listened to, but it was popular.
Yeah, but it was big. So and I can appreciate it.
Right.
But this is just one that I felt like could like resonate with like a wide range of like fans because of like how I don't want to say like basic it is.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking that same word. Woo, okay.
But yeah, just like how light and like fresh, or light and nostalgic the sound.
Yes. Yep, is. Good word.
I wouldn't say fresh. It's like more just like like retro, like classic.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. But yeah, that's our third song. I actually don't really remember. I'm gonna assume it falls into this like lyrical theme that we have going, but I don't specifically remember what it's about because I just this is like one where the sound of the song just kind of gets me, and I'm not really paying attention to
what they're saying,
what he's saying very much.
Ooh, I'm getting you into the lyricism now too. Nice.
Well, I mean, it depends on like the kind of song for me.
True.
Yeah. Okay. For this kind of music, I typically wouldn't really listen to what they're saying very much. If you listen to Blink music, typically a lot of what they're saying, they have some like, I guess, emotional songs, but a lot of what they're saying is kind of dumb. Yeah. Oh. And when I hear this kind of stuff, I said, I just didn't really think about what he was saying.
They're the ones who did that song where they were running naked, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, that's my third pick. So now we're going to get into my mom's favorites, actually. The first one is called I'm Cool, I'm Good, I'm Straight. And I'll let you get into why you like that one.
So I liked the chorus. I liked that it was like, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm fine. And I really liked the chorus. Like, I liked the chorus and I liked the sound of it. So in looking at it, basically the meaning of behind the song is that he's very self-aware in this song. I mean, when you listen to the title, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm fine, he's talking about himself, and he's talking about, hey, just so you know, everybody, I'm with these feelings, but he's also talking perspectively about like mental health and what it does to a person when they become famous like this, you know, when all of a sudden they're famous and other people are, like we had said in the other song, relying on them, trying to take money from them or things like that, that he has to put on a certain face when he's in the public, even though he's dealing with all of these emotional issues, you know, as a person. So, but I like the title of the song. I thought it had a really good beat throughout the whole song. And you mentioned that you thought it was a Hollister song.
Yeah, it sounds like Hollister music.
Yeah.
Like
you can smell the song.
Yeah, like bands like Phoenix or like
Yep.
Neon Trees.
Yep.
Like that kind of 2010s alternative rock. It's actually another one that's probably like pretty lightly produced.
Yes.
Compared to most of the other stuff.
Right.
Like it's a lot less distorted.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
Although his vocals are kind of distorted, which is kind of interesting to me as to why you would like it.
Right.
But I do like, I actually like the vocals better than the instrumental, because the instrumental
Same
to
here.
me is just a little, it's just, there's so much of that kind of music was popular when I was like in high school that, you know, it's just whatever to me. That's why I call it Hollister music.
Yeah, because, and also if you don't know this, like when you walk into Hollister, it's a wave of like smell, like
I would think
perfume and all that.
know.
But just in case, so it's like this has a Hollister smell to it, is what you can say.
But yeah, the lyrics on this one are really good though.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's very self-aware, and that, like, so when I saw that like meme of him, you know, that was like really popular, I like looked into it, and apparently like the reason he like kind of like started singing some like funny stuff is because he was getting like really emotional on his stream. So this guy obviously wears his heart on his sleeve.
Oh, 100%.
Which I can
100%.
appreciate for sure. I think that's pretty cool.
Yep.
The next one we picked is another one my mom's picked. It's Crisis Actor. And yeah, like I said, I'll let you get into why you like it.
So I'll talk about the song, but then I'm going to talk about something interesting that goes into Crisis Actor. So the song, I like the fact that it kept repeating that there were dinosaurs on Earth and how we can still rule the Earth as well. And when you really listen to the lyrics, I just listened to the lyrics. I didn't look into anything about it. He's talking, in my opinion, he's talking about the fact that when the dinosaurs were here, they were just existing. They weren't praying to a god. They weren't, you know, trying to get assistance from anyone. They were just existing. But since they've been gone and humans are here, we can't just exist. We have to like have some higher power that we ask for to assist us in our lives. And he says it's good. He calls it a malevolent God. He's like, it's good to have that, but he's like, we can rule the earth just like the dinosaurs ruled the earth without needing a lot, you know, without needing much.
That's like the fight of like being a human, of like why.
Yes.
Like, why are we here?
Right.
And, you know, like what are we supposed to be doing?
Right, exactly.
And that's like, you know, he's trying to like what he's saying is like, you don't have to know.
No, we don't have to know.
And I like do try to like live like that. It's like you don't have to know what you're doing all the time. You don't have to have a plan.
Right.
It's good to have one if that's good for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have my notes, and you have your notes on your thing too, but it's not like those notes are what drive us to live every day. No. It's, you know. Yeah,
and it's different for everyone. I don't think you can, if you need something like whatever to get you to do stuff, then like do that for you.
Go ahead. And then what was interesting is as I was like looking up Crisis Actor, it kept coming up like with videos of people who were like saying things particularly about school shootings, and it was about like Columbine and Parkside and the I can't think of what the other one was, Sandy Hook, and that there were people who were acting like crisis actors, like they were saying stuff, and
I don't know if I believe that though.
Right, but I don't know if that's what he called it crisis actor, but when you look it up, that's what everything is about, is the fact that
people are trying to say that these people are faking it.
Yep.
I don't know if I believe that.
Right. And I was just like, wow, but just,
because I don't understand what you would gain from doing that.
100%.
So I guess people, I don't know.
I don't know if that has anything to do with the song, but it was, when you look it up, all that comes up with it. It is
interesting if, like, being, like, a younger person, if, like, he, like, learned that term from that.
Could be, right.
Because it's so relevant for...
his age.
Yeah, that's really crazy and, like, sad to think about.
It's terrible.
That, like,
it's terrible.
I kind of was thinking, we kind of thought about it when I was in high school, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right. Oh,
and I was in high school, 15 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
But, anyway, I feel like this is another one that, it's funny, like, you picked ones that feels, like, less produced.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels less produced, too.
Definitely. I agree.
And, it's, like, that, like, for, how deep it is, I like that, you know, because you can... like, focus on what he's saying.
The meaning behind the song or the lyrics behind it are really, they're profound. They really make you think.
For what it's worth, I think he is a really good lyricist.
Yes, very much so.
Especially for being, like, a young person, like I mentioned Olivia Rodrigo in the beginning and Juliet Ivy. Like, they're pretty young, but they're, like you said, profound. Like, they're thinking about these things. Like, their lyrics are better than, like, you know, I love 21 Savage, but you listen to him and he's not talking about this.
No, Kanye didn't talk about this. Yeah, no.
Like, these kids are, and it's sad that they have to, like, think this way.
I think that and I mean, I know that you're not that much older than them, but it's sad that your youth has to, like, think so deeply. You know?
I feel like I'm older enough than them that, like, I can't really relate to this that much.
Right, but it's
because when I was a kid, it still felt like when I was in high school, it still felt like pretty light. You know, like you're in high school, but
and you're doing your stuff.
For them, like being in high school because of social media, because of all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
You mentioned the shootings, like, which that word's probably gonna get us. Hated or banned by YouTube.
Sorry. Well, the disaster, we can say the disasters.
But I feel like being like a young person is almost like harder,
right? Because they think about that stuff. I mean, we do drills at school once a month.
That's really crazy.
And for that, and for doing the drill, and you have to tell them, be quiet, don't talk, and this is what their life is now. They have to think about things like that, like you said. But when we were in school, it was like, we're having a fire drill.
I wonder if it's a little bit like similar to what it was like growing up in like the 40s and 50s
with the bomb drills, and everything like that. Yep.
That time period was definitely a very anxious time period.
Yes.
It's like these kids probably relate to them more than you know the people from the last 40 to 50 years.
Right, they had to get under their desks and everything. Yep.
Yeah, if you think about that, that's nuts.
Yeah,
they did that.
Yeah, and now it's coming back again.
Yeah, in a different, even scarier form. Actually,
terrible.
It's way scarier because it's not some like scary power. It's like someone in your class.
Scary human. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like someone you know.
Yeah.
That
it's
could
terrible.
Do it.
It's sad. So again, I wonder if, like we said, I wonder if he came up with this title or this idea based upon the term. Yep.
Because of that.
Right.
But anyway, the last song we picked is, I think it's the last song.
It is the last song. Right? These are the last 3 songs actually.
Okay. And it's called Sweet Tooth. And I'll let you get into why you like that one too. I have a funny opinion on what this song sounds like also.
He does. So for this one, it's actually about relationships. And it bodes on the meaning that things can be good in a relationship, but they can also be like not negative, but you have to deal with the good and the bad. And so he starts off one of his lines that it says, a reminder of a Sour Patch Kid. And so he's just basically trying to say, yeah, like I can be really sweet, but then there's times that I'm sour too. And to me, like we said, he talks about relationships. I think he's trying to say that in a relationship, it's not all going to be sweet, like the sweet powder of a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, or maybe in a relationship with him.
And with him. That's possibly good. But I think that's true of any relationship, to be honest with you. It's not always sweet and perfect.
Yeah, I felt like he's saying that I'm like, I have baggage.
Right.
I have stuff that's wrong with me.
Right. Like, I can be sweet, but there's sour parts of me as well. Yeah. And if you truly love me, you'll understand that, and we'll work together in this relationship. But I know it was like, it feels more really kiddish too, because he talks about I'm a Sour Patch Kid.
Another like more underproduced one.
Very much so. Yeah.
The end of the album, a lot of it is a lot more underproduced.
Yep.
I wonder if the beginning of the album is more similar to like what he has done in the past.
Okay.
And like these songs aren't.
Yeah, maybe he's trying something new with these songs.
Yeah, just trying something different.
Yeah, but you said that it reminded you of he played a song for me.
Or like adult like contemporary alternative from like the 90s, like that song like Everything You Want by like Vertical Horizon.
Yeah. One Tree Hill is what it reminded us. It's a One Tree Hill song.
One that my dad likes, that one by the Spin Doctors.
Oh.
Two Princes.
Two Princes.
Like that.
Oh yeah,
like
that was
this sounds
yeah.
like.
It's so weird that was the song that my husband, his dad liked. I mean, we're all kind of like,
even though it's
what?
From like the late 90s.
Yeah, that's he's usually
era.
Steve Miller, all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? Do you like this song?
Yeah, but that's what this song definitely sounds inspired by that stuff.
Right.
And I could like see his like parents or something being like having grown up listening to that.
Oh, definitely.
So it can make sense as that's how you would get exposed to it.
Right.
But it's funny to hear like a song with like this sound, because there's, like I said, this one's way more underproduced.
Oh, definitely.
And it's funny to hear a song with this specific sound in 2024, especially by like
a younger person,
an emo like hyper pop artist, because like that Biba Doobie, like she kind of makes music that like sometimes makes music that kind of sounds like that, but one, it's a little harder. Okay. It's a little more like punk, and two, it's not like there aren't like his other stuff is not like this, obviously. Other stuff is like this.
You said hyperpop. That's what kept coming up over and over when you look him up. The hyperpop singers.
I think hyperpop is a pretty broad term though, because I could like play you like other hyperpop that does not sound like this even a little bit.
What is hyperpop?
I think it's just like that super saturated and distorted like pop music.
Okay.
But like I said, like if I played like 100 Gex or something, which maybe I'll play that for you after this, which is considered hyperpop, that is way different than this.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that's how, or those are our favorite songs from Ericdoa'S album DOA. I think we mentioned this is like his third album.
Yes.
Which is
third or fourth.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy for being this young, and he's been signed to Interscope for a while. So.
Yep.
Good for him.
Right.
And it seems like he's really starting to like pop off. Now, I mean, obviously that's how I got exposed to him. Right. You know, he's getting like bigger than ever. And that's cool for him. I hope he continues to grow in that way. As far as how we feel, I'll let you get into how you feel about it first.
So I know he always tries to pick songs and artists that he thinks I'm going to like and things like that. And the first time I listened to this, I was like, ugh, this is not going to be a good one for me. But then again, I changed my equalizer, which for me helped because it sounds the way I want to. So then I started listening to the album all the way through more and more. And there's only 10 songs on the album.
Yeah,
it's like a 23-minute album.
Yeah.
But then as I started listening to the songs more, I started to like them. I started to appreciate what they were about, and I thought they were interesting. The first song on the album, I forget what it's called, Crazy Something.
Yeah.
But Crazy Life or maybe something like that. And initially I didn't like that song because of the sound, because it was so like gruffly and stuff. Crunchy. But then when I, again, changed it, I really liked the song then. And that was almost a song that I picked because I liked the meaning. I liked the way it sounded. So because I changed it up for my likings, I appreciated the album better and I appreciated him better. But because it's something that was just different for me, I would probably give it a 6.
I actually like this a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it's like I said, it's not really for me, but I can, and I feel like you're like starting to like get like this, like the way I listen to music, where I know that like I'm probably not gonna like re-listen to a lot of this stuff.
Right. And if I was younger, I would probably be all over this album because it relates to younger people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm saying like even like this sound like.
Right. Oh, I see.
I'm probably not really going to. I did download a couple songs for my playlist. Okay. But I'm probably not going to like re-listen to this one a lot. But I can appreciate like that it is done really well. Mm-hmm. And I gave it like maybe like a 7.5. I think I rated it like around what I gave like 21 Savage. Okay. I think it's just like a good album. It's done really well. It's lyrically very good. Mm-hmm. It's very diverse in its sound, and I appreciate that a lot. Even though every song has like a similar theme to how it's produced. Yes. There's a lot of different like inspirations for like types of music for sure.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's different sounds throughout.
Almost like every single song.
Yeah.
Even though it sounds pretty good, like. All the way through.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's really good at producing.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe in the future, like, as like you get more exposed to this kind of music, and maybe as he tones down or gets better at his craft, you could like him more.
Right.
Because he's definitely like growing. If you listen to his older stuff, like. It wasn't as deep as this. Mm-hmm. This album's pretty deep for what it's worth.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Like our very, very first one that we did was Janaya.
Yeah, and she has a new song.
Oh, she does. Okay, yeah. But like I could see him getting more famous, like more than he is, faster than like someone like Janaya.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. But so that's how we feel about Ericdoa'S DOA. I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes. And thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a nice day.